Did you or someone you love receive a Rubik's Cube for Christmas or any other holiday event? Did you or someone you love play around with that Rubik's Cube for a little while, telling others that you would learn to solve it and then put it aside once boredom set in? You're in luck. Just watch the following video and you too can be a Rubik's Cube champion. Results may vary. For reals now, this is a beginner's Rubik's Cube tutorial. That means that you have little to no experience in solving the cube. Oh, when I was a kid, I knew how to do it, or, ew, I knew that there was a trick to it where you just turn it a certain number of ways. Yeah, you guys sound like that. Listen, just follow this video. I promise it will help you learn to solve the cube. If you ever need to skip ahead or rewind, just follow the timestamps in the description. Here we go. There are 6 sides. There are 6 colors. That's pretty self-explanatory. When you solve this side should be all white, this side should be all green, orange, etc. So if I'm referring to, let's say, the red side of the cube, I'm referring to that side with the red sticker in the center. There are 6 center pieces on your cube. There are 12 edge pieces on your cube. We'll be referring to these as edges. And there are 8 corner pieces on your cube. Please make sure you know which pieces I'm referring to. In terms of the sides of the cube, they're also referred to by the direction in which you're holding them. For example, if I'm holding the cube like this side of the cube that's facing up, well, we refer to that as the up side of the cube. This side, of course, would then be down. Up, down, referred to by the letters U and D. This side is the right side, the left side, R and L, the front side, and the back side. These names become very important, especially when you're trying to figure out notation for the cube. And when you use algorithms, they use a lot of those letters, U, D, R, L, F, and B. For example, if I were to turn the cube R, depending on how I'm holding it, that would be the right side of the cube. I would have to turn it clockwise. Now, when I say clockwise, I mean about the center of that side. If I said U, turn the cube U, it would be U clockwise. Pretty self-explanatory. F, D, L. Now again, those turns are from as if you were looking at that center. Because for a right clockwise, it'd be like this, and L clockwise, it'd be like this. That's should be like, okay, well, if I'm looking at the right side, clockwise. If I'm looking at the left side, clockwise. It's about the center that you're looking at. So D, of course, would be like that, clockwise around that center. B, you just have to imagine as if you were looking at the back side of the cube. So if I'm doing B, clockwise, just like that. There are moves that you could also do counterclockwise. We refer to these as prime moves or inverted moves. You can see the notation on the screen. So if I were to move the cube R prime counterclockwise, as if you were looking at that center, U prime, F prime, D prime, etc. You just have to imagine as if you were looking at that side of the cube. Try to make sure that you understand what that means to move the cube, either R or R prime or L or L prime, etc. There are also double moves, 2 moves. So if you're moving the cube U2, it just means to move the cube twice. Doesn't really matter the direction for a beginner, so U2 would just be like that. It doesn't really matter the direction because you can see right here, like this orange-green piece, if I were to move it U2, would end up right there. If I were to end up U2 in the other direction, same exact thing. R2, L2, F2, D2, B2. Pretty self-explanatory from there. Just a note when solving the cube, the earlier steps 1, 2, and 3, are going to seem like they take a while when you're trying to get them down. The latter steps, 4, 5, 6, and 7, seem to fly by. This is pretty typical, so please don't become discouraged if steps 1, 2, and 3 are taking a bit longer than you anticipated. I am simply setting these steps up so that the later steps will be easier once you get to them. Trust me when I say that. Finally, before we get started, I would strongly suggest that after learning each step that you practice it at least 3 or 4 or 5 times before moving on to the next step. You need to make sure that you have the ability to do these steps and to build upon them. Otherwise, later on, you're going to get completely lost. the first step to solving the cube is to attain the white cross. Now I say white simply because it's what I do, and it's the easiest, in my opinion, color to see on the cube. Other people could solve using other colors, blue, red, green, whatever, but I just prefer the white cross. When you do this, it's important to realize that, you're getting the 4 white edge pieces that surround the white center. At this step, corners do not matter, but what does matter is that the 4 white edge pieces match on the side the other colors, orange, green, red, and blue. It doesn't help if you have a cross like this, otherwise it would make no sense going on to the next step. So you have to make sure that you have this correct cross. For beginners, what I would suggest doing is this. Locate your white center. Just scramble a little more. Locate your white center and have that facing up, and then try to build the 4 white edge pieces around that center. For example, this piece could just go right here. Oh, look, that piece could go right there. Again, I'm keeping my white center facing up. Again, this is a beginner's thing. Oh, look at that, I got one straight down there. And then, okay, well, I got this piece. And, well, obviously this won't do anything. This is just a suggestion for beginners. Move the cross so you can put that piece directly into it. Again, corners don't matter. But for this particular cross, the side edge piece does not match the correct center. So what you would have to do is, as a beginner, try to fix that. Doing this, might not work. I could do this all day long, but the best I can ever do is probably get, look at that, I got the green, I got the orange, but I didn't get the red and the blue. Well, in order to fix that, it's just a simple matter of, okay, well, turn this piece upside down. This little piece right here, I'm putting my finger on that piece, turning it upside down. So that piece is now facing straight down right here. This white-red needs to match up with the red center, so match that up with the red center, and then throw it into the cross. Oh no, but I messed up that other cross piece that had blue on it. Well, it didn't belong there in the first place. It belongs with the blue center. So while it's on the bottom, or the down I should say, match that up with the blue center, and then flip that up into the cross. And that way you know that you have a correct cross right there. Again, at this point, corners do not matter. Let's actually try that one more time. Just gonna completely scramble, 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 scramble. Locate my white center. There it is. Okay, I got random white edge pieces floating around everywhere. I see this piece. I'm just gonna flip that in right away. Okay, this piece I could easily just flip in right there. Okay, but how the heck do I get those two? Well, again, as a beginner, you'd have to kind of use a little bit of foresight in order to get this. To flip that up into there, and then, oh no, that piece, well, it's stuck right there, what do I do? Oh no. Well, you see how it's on the side right here? I can't just do that, put it into the cross. Instead, move the actual physical white cross so that the open slot can be filled using that piece. And then, of course, as a beginner, you would say, okay, well, my centers are all messed up except for the orange. The orange edge matches the orange center, but none of the other ones match. Well, start with one color at a time, flip the blue upside down. There it is, matched up with the blue center, keeping my cross on top the entire time. Now you're just going to fix one piece at a time in this case, flipping it up, matching the red, white, with the red. Oh, look at that, I can flip that upside down. And then the green, white, flipping it up into the green. Again, don't worry about your corners, just match up across. As you become more proficient at this, eventually you'll be able to get your white cross in a much faster manner. For example, okay, well, I'm just looking at this right here. If I were to get my cross, well, I would do one piece at a time, of course, but I would do it in such a way where each of these center pieces would match up with the edge. Again, try to keep your cross on top. Practice that at least 2 or 3 times before you move on to the next step. Just an added note to getting the white cross. Some people start as a beginner to try and get the white cross on the down side of your cube, as you can clearly see right here, just simply because it aids in helping solve the cube faster. If that's something that you want to practice, please go ahead and do so. As a beginner, I just like to put the white cross on top simply because you can visually see where these pieces are going. After getting across, step 2 is to get your white corners. Now, it's important to note that for the entire rest of the solve, we are going to be doing it with the white cross on the down side of the cube. So at this point, you should definitely turn your cube completely upside down so that the yellow center is facing up. This is where we're going to also introduce a bit of notation for algorithms. We've already talked about the R, the U, the D, the F, the B, clockwise, counterclockwise, and double moves. But now we're actually going to be putting them together. With your white cross on the bottom, you want to look around the up side of your cube, the up layer, for a corner that has a white sticker on it. If you notice that this white sticker, it also has green and red as well. That is the white, green, red corner, and it belongs right here. It belongs here because this is the white, red, green corner of the cube. So what's going to happen is you're going to position that piece directly above where it should go. Then you have to identify which case you have, a right case, a left case, or an other case. In this situation, we have a right case. The way that we can designate that is where the white sticker is. So if you have a right case, you are actually going to perform it with your right hand. So you notice I'm holding it with my right hand right here, this corner, which belongs here. The algorithm is R, U, R prime. So if you take that one piece at a time, R, clockwise, U, clockwise, R prime, counterclockwise. And what that does is that places that corner exactly where it needs to go, matching with the green and the red. After you've done that, you just simply move on to another piece that has a white sticker on it. Well, that's red, white, and blue. It belongs with the red and blue centers on the cube. Well, there it is right there. So I'm going to position it directly above where it should go. I recognize that it is a right case, so I'm going to hold it on my right hand and perform that same exact algorithm, R, U, R prime, R, U, R prime. And you can see, well, now I got 2 centers placed correctly. Let me just set something up real quick. Here we go. Now notice, this corner right here, it has orange and blue on it. Well, okay, cool. Well, I gotta find my orange and blue. There it is right there, orange and blue. You need to position the piece directly above where it needs to go. It's supposed to go right down there. But now, obviously, it is no longer a right case. Where is the white sticker? Well, it's on the left side of that piece. Since it is a left case, we are going to perform it with our left hand. So it's similar to the RUR prime. It's just a mirror image of what it once was. Instead of RUR prime, we're going to perform L prime, U prime, L in order to get that piece in. So L prime, left side, counterclockwise, U prime, and then L clockwise. What that does is, well, you can clearly see right there, it places the corner exactly where it needs to go. I locate my final piece right here. Now this is an other case. Now the reason why I call this an other case is just simply because it doesn't exactly place the piece, but it changes it into something that you can handle. Now the other case is R, U2, R prime. Since it starts with R, we're going to start it with our right hand and hold it on the right side with the right hand. Again, directly above where it needs to go. Green, orange, R, U2, R prime. Now the piece is over here now. You can clearly see with the white sticker. And if we reposition it, now it is no longer another case. It is a right case. So we can do R, U, R prime, and that piece is there. Now notice the entire first layer of the cube is done. Very important to establish that foundation as you're moving along. Now let's actually try that again from scratch. I'm just going to very quickly get my cross the way that I know how to get it. Oh, there you go. There's your cross. Again, that was... Anyway, turn the whole cube over. Looking around. Oh, look at that. I got a orange, green, white. Well, okay, green, orange. Okay, that's not green, orange. This is green, orange. Position it above where it needs to go. It is a right case, right hand. R, U, R prime. There's a piece right in front of me, red, white, and blue. I got to position it directly above the red and blue centers. Okay, but now it's no longer a right case. It is a left case. You can see by the white sticker. So I'm going to position my left hand and do an L prime, U prime, L. Okay, I got to look around again. Oh, there's a case right there. Oh, look at that. Blue, orange, blue, orange. It's an other case. R, U2, R prime. There's the piece. Always keep an eye on where these pieces are moving to. R, U, R prime. I saw one. Oh, there it is, floating around. Red, green. Position it above where it needs to go. Left case, L prime, U prime, L. And the first layer is done again. You need to practice that a few times. Sometimes you'll end up with this, where no more white corners available in the up layer. But obviously there it is, but it's wrong. It's wrong. What's going to happen in this case is that you're going to treat this piece as if it were trapped. If it's trapped, you need to free it, and then you need to replace it. Basically, just look at the piece and say, okay, well, is it a left case, a right case, or another case? Well, it's a left case, so you're going to free it as if it were a left case on your left hand. L prime, U prime, L. You freed the piece, reposition, L prime, U prime, L will replace the piece. And that'll get that done right there. The next step to solving the Rubik's Cube is to place your middle layer edges. Now, this is your middle layer right here, and your edges, well, those are the ones they need to place. Sometimes you'll end up with one or two of them where they need to go, but, let's just focus on one at a time. What you want to do is, again, your white side is going to be on the down side of the cube for the rest of the solve. You want to locate in the up layer an edge piece that has no yellow on it. Now, in this case, we're doing red and blue. So what you want to try and do is, well, okay, first and foremost, you're going to line up that piece directly with the center that it needs to be with. Awesome, cool. Once that piece, blue, red, needs to go right here. Blue, red. Okay, cool. Now, at this point, you either have a left case or a right case. All right, cool. Now, in this particular situation, since the blue, red needs to go this way, it's a right case. The red sticker's on the top, the red side is on the side. It's a right case. According to the algorithm that we have, it has 4 moves, the word rotate, and then 4 moves. I'll explain what the word rotate means in a moment. First, it starts out U, R, U prime, R prime. U, R, U prime, R prime. Awesome, cool. So what we have at this point is what we call a train. I know it's a metaphorical train, obviously. It's 2 pieces that match, and it has a white headlight in the front. When it says the word rotate, you simply want to look at that train and imagine, well, put that headlight facing you. So when it says rotate, you're going to rotate the entire cube so that that headlight is facing you. Then you just continue with the algorithm. U prime, L prime, U, L. Well, U prime, L prime, U, L. And what that does is that places the corner with the correct blue-red edge in its place. If I put it right back where it was, imagine this train metaphor now. The train obviously belongs here. Imagine that the train, this is the station that the train belongs to. Just by doing that, it won't help because you just messed up everything that you just did before with the cross and the corners. So instead, what you want to imagine, if you're not going to use the algorithm, is the train going past the station opening up, like parallel parking back in, and then just slamming it home. That's literally what the algorithm does when you're at that step. It goes U prime, L prime, U, L. So you can either imagine it using that metaphor or just focusing on the algorithm, but eventually it will become muscle memory in your hands. Then you just, okay, we'll move on to another piece. Okay, well, green, orange, line it up with the orange side. I got the green on top. Oh, it's a left case right here because the green's over here and a green, orange belongs here. So according to the algorithm, it's very, very similar, but obviously different. Starts out U prime, L prime, U, L. So U prime, L prime, U, L. There's my train again facing the other direction. It says rotate, so I'm going to rotate it so the headlight of that train is facing me. U, R, U prime, R prime. Slamming it home. There it goes. Just move on to my next piece. Okay, well, red, green. It's a right case. U, R, U prime, R prime. Rotate the cube. U prime, L prime, U, L. Oh, there's my last piece. Okay, there it goes. Well, let's just say, for instance, that something like this happens. You look around the upside of your cube, and you have no pieces with no yellow on it. Well, there's the piece. It's the blue-orange, but it's backwards, obviously backwards. This is another trapped piece. In this particular case, we'll just treat it like it were a right case by placing it on the right side of it there. And if you perform the algorithm, you free that piece. Just simply line it up again and place it in. And it totally works. Sometimes you will have that piece somewhere where it doesn't belong, like something like this, where, you know, pieces are kind of backwards like that. Well, that would be, again, a situation where you'd have to free them and then replace them. For a more advanced method, that would be something along the lines of F2L, but for our beginner's method, we're just focusing on one piece at a time. So, again, you know, you could free it. There's the piece. Okay, well, it's lined up now, but now it's a left case. And by doing that, you've actually dislodged that other piece that was stuck there, so I'm just going to place it. And at this point, you should have 2 layers of your cube completely done. Step 5 is to get your yellow cross. We started up by getting the white cross, now we're going to get the yellow cross. When you get to this step, you will have one of 4 potential cases. In terms of the 4 yellow edge pieces, you could have this, which is, we refer to this as the L. You could have this, which we refer to as the bar. Or you could have this, which we refer to as the dot. Notice that the corners do not matter in terms of recognizing which case you have. Now, I said there were 4 potential cases. Well, yeah, there are 4 potential cases. The last case is getting the yellow cross itself. And if this were to happen, you would just move on to the next step. But we'll focus on this for now. Now, if you, as you can see in the algorithms, if you happen to have the dot, you could just simply do an algorithm F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime, and that will turn the dot into the L. And you can see that right here, the F, clockwise, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime will turn that into the L. If you have the bar, you can turn the bar directly into the cross by performing the exact same algorithm, holding it this way. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And you can clearly see that right there. If you have the L, it's almost exactly the same algorithm to turn it into the cross, with the F, the R, the U, the R prime, the U prime, the F prime, except instead of the regular capital F, as you can see in the algorithm, it is a lowercase f. Now, a lowercase letter, when you're solving the Rubik's Cube, simply means this. Instead of turning the 1 layer, you are going to turn 2 layers. So if you have a lowercase letter, lowercase f simply means the 2 layers, clockwise, R, U, R prime, U prime. And then lowercase f prime is turning it back, and you get the yellow cross. Beyond that, step 5 is to get your yellow corners. Now, I usually teach these 2 steps together, so I would practice steps 4 and 5 together. There's one algorithm for getting the yellow corners, and as you can see, it's R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And what that algorithm actually does is this. If you look at the 4 yellow corners, the corner that is in the front left right here, the configuration of that corner won't really change. Instead, the other 3 corners will rotate clockwise, and what I mean by that is this. Literally, the piece will rotate clockwise once you perform the algorithm. Now, you can counterclockwise, clockwise, etc. So, this piece won't move, and the other 3 will rotate clockwise. Now, watch exactly what happens. If this piece were to rotate clockwise, that means the yellow sticker would be here. If this piece were to rotate clockwise, the yellow sticker would be down here in the back, and this one over here, this yellow sticker would rotate clockwise to the up. So if I did the algorithm from this configuration, this one would stay yellow down, this yellow would rotate up clockwise. You would only have one yellow corner correct. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime, and there it is. There's the one that is correct. Now this is actually partially your goal. As you can see, the yellow stickers right here, we usually refer to this as a fish. The yellow stickers kind of form a fish, because the idea is that this algorithm, once you have the fish, this algorithm will finish your yellow corners either one more time or two more times using it. In this particular case, it's two more times, so you'll see that as we move along. In order to use it properly, you have to put the head of the fish in that front left position. And then if you perform the algorithm, well, watch what happens. You'll have to do it two times, so the first time will seemingly not work, but it will be doing something. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. See, it didn't really fix it, but we still have the fish, so you put the fish head in that position again, and again, this one will stay the same, and the other three will rotate clockwise. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And you should have the yellow top at that point. Now, it's important to note that step 5, the yellow corners, could be potentially the most frustrating step that you may be faced with, but I'll give you some tips and hints as to how to deal with that. So right here, we got our first two layers, and we have to get the yellow cross for step 4. I have the L, again ignoring the corners. So I'd hold the L the way the picture has it. Little f, R, U, R prime, U prime, little f prime, boom. I have my yellow cross now. Alright, cool. Now, if you perform the algorithm for step 5 right now, I mean, without even thinking about it, it might work, it might not work. Obviously, it didn't work. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Didn't work. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Didn't work. Because the idea is that you're trying to get that fish head with the one yellow corner correct. Obviously, we're only getting the two yellow corners correct, or the none correct, as we previously saw. And then from that fish head, you could get the rest of the yellow corners. But this is where you would have to use a bit of foresight, recognizing what could happen with the rotation of the corners. Again, this corner right here won't move. This one will rotate clockwise, this one will rotate clockwise, so these two would actually go down. And when I say clockwise, I mean as if you were looking at that point, the entire piece rotating clockwise, like, again, clockwise, and clockwise, and clockwise, I would not recommend doing that on a regular Rubik's Cube. If I were to do that here, this one would stay, this one would rotate clockwise, this one would rotate clockwise, and this one would rotate clockwise around here. So I would have none correct. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. See, I have none of the yellow corners correct. Again, a bit of foresight. Well, let's see what happens, and then if it's not going to work, then I might just rotate the cube. Okay, well, it'll stay. It'll rotate up. It'll rotate up. I'm going to stop right there because I'd have two correct. Rotate the cube. Try again. This one would stay. Rotate up. Rotate over here. Rotate over here. If I did it from here, I would get that one yellow corner correct. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Boom, fish head. Put the fish head down here, and either one more time or two more times should get the yellow top, which in this case it'll be one more time, because if you see it, this corner won't move. This one will rotate clockwise up, clockwise up, clockwise up, as long as I keep that fish head in the front left. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. There is my yellow top. I would let's try it one more time. Just mixing this up a little bit more. Okay. Well, let me try something different. Well, let's try it from the bar. Okay, so we have the bar. Again, you have to hold the bar like that. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. Sometimes you'll accidentally get the fish, or sometimes you'll accidentally get the yellow top. If you get the fish, well, then just go ahead with the algorithm with the fish head here. If you get the yellow top, then just move on to the next step. Because, again, step 5 is getting the yellow corners to all face up. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. If you were working from an advanced point of view, you might be able to turn this directly into the yellow top. Or you might be able to turn this directly into the yellow top. But again, from a beginner's perspective, you really just want to try and focus on trying to get that fish, and then getting the yellow top. So let's see, stay, rotate down, rotate up, fish head, got it. I would strongly suggest practicing this step a lot before you move on to the last two steps. The last two steps in solving the Rubik's Cube have the word permutation. Permutation just simply means to change the order of these pieces so that they're in the correct configuration. We're going to break it up into steps 6 and 7. Step 6 being permutating the corners, and then step 7 being permutating the edges. This is probably the easiest step to learn. I only teach 2 algorithms for this. For step 6, I teach the algorithm called Lerd-Word. You can see it written as such. Now notice that the first letter in Lerd-Word, L, is a lowercase letter, which means you're going to move 2 of the layers for that little L prime. Before you actually perform the algorithm, you want to make sure that you try something here. Notice the headlights for the red. I have the pair of red right here, the headlights in the corners. What you want to do is, if you have a pair of headlights, put them in the back. So you get the pair of red headlights in the back. And if you perform this algorithm, it should fix your corners. If you do not have the headlights, which I'll show you that in a moment, then you should do the algorithm once, and then you'll get headlights. If your corners are already complete, then just move on to step 7, but let's see what happens. So headlights in the back, little L prime, U, R prime, D2, R, U prime, R prime, D2, R2. Just look back. Oh, look at that. All my corners are good. Sometimes your corners may end up with something like that. Well, then just fix them like that, you know. Sometimes you might be faced with something like this when you're on your step 6, where if you look at your corners, you have no headlights anywhere. Well, holding it anywhere, just do the algorithm once, and you'll get headlights. Little L prime, U, R prime, D2, R, U prime, R prime, D2, R2. And if you look, oh, there are my headlights. Boom. I know the green matches, but it just happens. So put those headlights in the back. Perform the algorithm one more time. Little L prime, U, R prime, D2, R, U prime, R prime, D2, R2. And what ends up happening is, oh, look, all your corners are good. So just line up your corners. And there you go. That's step 6. Step 7 is to fix your edges. And you can see the algorithm written right there. Now, just like with step 6, when you find your headlights, you put them in the back. For step 7, you try to locate an edge that is already correct, and you put that in the back. And as you can see here, none of my edges are correct. So I'm going to perform the algorithm once. It'll get me a correct edge. I'm going to put that in the back, and then we'll see what happens. So the algorithm, as you can see, is R2, U, R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, U prime, R prime, U, R prime. There's my correct edge. I'm going to put it in the back, and just like previous algorithms, I'm either going to have to perform it one more time or 2 more times. In this case, 1 more time, because what this actually does is this rotates these 3 edges clockwise. The orange will jump here, the green will jump here, and the red will jump here. Remember, the correct one's in the back. R2, U, R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, U prime, R prime, U, R prime. That totally works. Just to give you an idea of a sample solve for the last 2 steps, again, let's say you just got your yellow top. Oh, look, I got 2 corners right there. They're headlights, put them in the back, perform a Lerd-Word, little L prime, U, R prime, D2, R, U prime, R prime, D2, R2. My corners are correct. Oh, look at that. Oh, none of them are good, so R2, U, R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, U prime, R prime, U, R prime. There's my correct edge. I'll put it in the back. Now, in this particular case, I'm going to have to actually do step 7 twice, or 2 more times. R2, U, R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, U prime, R prime, U, R prime. 1 more time should do it, because again, that green's still correct in the back. R2, U, R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, U prime, R prime, U, R prime. Finally, just to finish up, I just want to go through a sample solve. I'm just going to randomly scramble this here. There we go. And then after the sample solve, I will have some links to help you out to possibly, once you learn how to solve the cube, well, what do you do from there? Well, I have some thoughts on that. But let's just go through the sample solve. First, as a beginner, I'm going to get my cross. Okay, and then I got to make sure my colors are good. Orange and blue are good. Red and green are not. Good. Turn the whole cube over. Awesome. Look for a corner. Oh, well, there we go. Okay, well, it's an other. Got it. Perfect. Cool. Oh, that's another other. Awesome. Oh, there's one. It's a left case, but blue and red. Blue and red. Got it. Got it. Perfect. And then, oh no, I get a piece that's stuck, and it's a left case, so. You'll see that the more apt you become at these steps, the easier you'll be able to do them without actually reciting the algorithm to yourself. I would suggest reciting it or having the algorithm alongside you written down, if need be, when practicing these. Next step, the middle layer. Okay, it's a left. Oh, okay. Train. Got it. All right. Oh man, I got none. Okay, that's trapped. I'm going to free that. There's the piece. Okay, it's a left case. Alright, cool. That piece, I've got to make sure it's lined up. It's another left case. They're just freeing themselves. Right case. Got it, okay. Obviously, my cube moves pretty fast, but a regular Rubik's Cube might not work this fast, you know. Anyway, yellow cross, it's a bar case. Okay, oh, I got my fish, awesome. I lucked out there. Look for, oh, got my headlights for step 6. Alright, okay, correct one in the back. Okay. And there it is.